Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be talking about curriculum audits, where they are, why we do them, and what they help us achieve. So, a curriculum audit is like a detailed checkup for or an inspection of a school's curriculum, just like how a business gets audited to see if everything is working properly, and schools do curriculum audits to make sure that what's being taught is effective and aligned with the curriculum standards. So, what exactly happens in a curriculum audit? First, the school or a team of experts looks at the teaching materials, lesson plans, and assessment that are being used, and they compare them with the standards by the set by educational department to see if they match up with the curriculum. So why is curriculum audit important? So the results of the curriculum audit is a report that lists what's working well and what's needed to be improved. Based on that, the schools can take actions, maybe by updating textbooks, changing certain topics, and providing training for teachers. In short, a curriculum audit it helps ensure what's being taught in school, if it's effective, fair, and up to date. It's all about helping students learn better and helping teachers teach better. Now, for the key features of curriculum audit, the first thing is the standard alignment. So, a curriculum audit looks at whether the curriculum matches national or state academic standards. This means checking if what's being taught in the classroom is is what students are expected to learn according to official guidelines. So, if not aligned, students might be missing important skills or learning things they need for the exams or future levels. Next is content coverage and sequence. So, the audit checks how well topics are covered and whether they are taught in the right order. So, other frequent questions are topics being repeated too much, or are some things being skipped? So, these also look at how topics from one grade to another. For example, is what is what taught in grade 5 preparing students for grade 6. That's content coverage and sequence. Next is Next is instructional quality. This feature is all about how well the teaching materials and strategies support student learning. So, frequent questions for this are the textbooks and digital tools helpful to the students, or are the lessons engaging? So, auditors might even visit classrooms to observe teaching methods and see if they match the best practices. Next is the fourth one is assessment practices. Another big part of the audit is to look at how students are being tested. So, frequent questions for this are the tests actually measuring what students were supposed to learn? So, the auditors check if there's a good balance of quizzes, projects, and final exams, and if they are fair and meaningful. As for the fifth one, it is equity and accessibility. One very important feature is equity, making sure that the curriculum works for all students. This means checking if it includes different cultures and backgrounds and their abilities. Um, the auditors also ask to students if do all students themselves in what they learn, see themselves in what they learn, or are there supports for students with special needs? Lastly, for the last feature for curriculum audit is implementation fidelity. The auditors look at something called implementation fidelity, which means checking if the teachers are actually using the curriculum as it was designed. Sometimes a great curriculum exists, but it's not being used properly or consistently. That is one of the most common mistakes that the curriculum or the education department needs to improve. So the audit helps us see if the curriculum is being taught as way it should be, or the way it should be across all the classrooms and grade levels. In conclusion, Each of these features help schools understand what's working and what needs to be improved or needs fixing in the curriculum. Together, they make sure that students are getting fair, high quality education that prepares them for success and their future. Is the key features for curriculum reviews. Basically, this is what we look for when schools or education teams check and update what students are learning. First for this is content relevance. This is one of the most important parts since this is to check if the curriculum is still relevant or is it still up to date. So, or does it still reflect what's happening in today's world, like changes in technology, science, and global events? This since education or curriculum is dynamic. If the content feels old or no longer useful, it's time for an update. Is alignment with standards. We look at how well the curriculum matches educational standards. These are the official learning goals set by the government or educational board. If the curriculum doesn't line up with this, students might miss out on important skills or knowledge. Third is vertical and horizontal alignment. So, vertical alignment means the curriculum builds up by year, like grade 7 to grade 7 prepares for grade 8. Horizontal alignment means students in the same grade are learning the same things across different classrooms. This helps keep learning consistent and smooth. Fourth one is the students' needs and interests. So a good curriculum should be interesting and suitable for students. During a review, the auditors ask if the materials are engaging. This is to ensure that the students feel connected and motivated to learn. And for the fifth one is cultural relevance and equity. So this is about making sure that the curriculum is inclusive and um, addresses diverse needs. Are students from different backgrounds and identities represented? Or is the curriculum fair and respectful for everyone? So this helps create a more welcoming and equal learning environment for the students to be well represented or they are considered or recognized. For the sixth one is assessment alignment. So here, the auditors check if the test and assignments match what students are being taught. There's no point in teaching one thing and testing something totally different, right? So, assessment should reflect what students are expected to learn. That's what it means to assess someone or evaluate the students. And lastly, for the last feature for curriculum reviews is teaching feedback and experience. So teachers are the front line, so they should know what works and what doesn't. So during a review, schools collect feedback from teachers to help improve the curriculum. This is one of the most important aspects so, to ensure the smoothness or the flexibility of the curriculum. Their voices are really important in making learning better. So, in short, curriculum reviews help schools keep education high quality, up to date, and inclusive. By checking things like this, like content standards, student needs, and teacher feedback, we make sure that the curriculum works for everyone, especially for the students and for teachers. And that is all. As for the relevance of curriculum audits and reviews in professional education, the curriculum audits and reviews are essential in professional education since they help keep programs relevant and practical and high quality. They also bridge the gap between the classroom and real-world situation, ensuring students are fully prepared to enter and succeed in their future careers and future selves. Imagine you're a student in a nursing program. So during your second year, you realize that some of the materials are being taught in class, like certain procedures for patient care, is outdated and doesn't reflect on what you observed during your hospital internship. For example, you're learning about paper-based patient charts, but hospitals now use digital record system or electronic health records. So after the curriculum review is conducted, the school updates the course to include hands-on training with course digital health systems. Introduces simulation labs with modern equipment and invites healthcare professionals to share real-time experiences. So in this case, the curriculum audit helps make the education more relevant, practical, and job ready. It also ensures that students are just not memorizing outdated theories, but are being tried to meet current healthcare standards. This improves not only students' learning outcomes, but also their confidence and performance in real-world setting. And that is all. Thank you.